Hi, everybody. Welcome to Altar Call. I'm your host, Tane, here to talk about this week's reality show, Ramble. This week, I will be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Extracted, Summer House, and Below Deck Med. But first, as always, I have to share with you what I watched in my Oscar nominated movie watch, trying to get all the movies together before the award show in March, I believe. And this week I watched Song Blue. It's a musical drama based on it's a true life story of a couple, Mike and Claire Sardina. I think they're in Milwaukee, and they were like a real life Neil Diamond tribute band. And this stars Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, and it just talks about their life, being the tribute band, the things that happened in their life. There was like different tragedies and then like accidents that happened, all the while just they were singing Neil Diamond's music. So Kate Hudson, I think, was a surprise nomination for Best Actress for people. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. And, Hugh Jackman loves him a musical. So I think we got to hit people. I've been complaining that I've been finding the movies boring, except Sinners, but this one I really liked. I really liked it. I mean, time seemed to be a construct for this movie, but I actually really just enjoyed the whole thing. And, Kate Hudson deserves her nomination, but I do think Hugh Jackman did a really good job also on here. So if you get a chance to see it, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere yet. Probably not. But you can check it out. But yes, I liked it, and that is my movie for the week. I wonder what I'm gonna watch next. Okay, let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know what everybody else is talking about. I had a time with this season. It was hilarious. It was just like, were there moments that were annoying? Yes. There were moments that were just like, can we stop? Like Ashley just keep going on and on about Stacey. And I'm like, you are not the beacon of morality. We went through stuff with you also, so please. But overall, I just thought it was funny. I don't watch the show live because, commercials. So sometimes I see all the comments of people just talking about the season being a flop or the finale being a flop. And when I watch it, most of the time it's usually like exaggerate much. So I don't know, maybe it's just that's what comes with watching it like a few days or a week after. And I guess I just have to get used to seasons ending on vacation. This has happened on Beverly Hills, this has happened on Salt Lake City, and now this is happening here. It ended on quote unquote vacation in a gas station, but again, it was a whole mess, and I had a great time with the girls during this journey that they took on the last day before they were supposed to fly back. And the clock with the whole timer and how much longer before their flight, hilarious. I felt bad for Angel. I'm not gonna lie. With her car seat all straight up, her sitting and driving the entire time, 2 hours, someone dropped the pin. Where are we going? That's like, how do you get lost in your city that you've spoken so much about for things that you do all the time? I think she just got overwhelmed, and her major flaw this season was she just wasn't herself. I've said it before that it just was absolute wrong timing. Like, she just gave birth. She's postpartum, and it's just a lot to deal with these girls. You have to be on 100 to stand toe to toe with them. The argument is that Wendy, when she started, that was kind of like the case for her. But I don't know. I just feel like Angel is not being herself. Like, I know the whole thing with like even Monique saying that she recognizes the signs, and I know like she keeps putting the caveat like it's not, I'm not saying it's factual, it's just similar to what I experienced. And yes, it is kind of rude to just say that out loud, but they are on the show and that happens. I do think there's some kind of truth to that. Like Angel is not being herself, and that's what's making this even harder for her. Why would you pick a place to show the girls and you go fly fishing, but you pick a place that you're not familiar with? You have a spot that you already go to, that you know like the back of your hand, and you want to impress them with a very expensive dinner or whatever it is that she said, and then you get lost. That's what happens. I remember during the journey when she took them to a rooftop bar or something, and someone was like, "Oh, is this where you come? Do you come here?" And she's like, "No." Why don't you just take them to where you go? We have spots that you like, but the poor chef, the poor coordinator, they were doing everything that they could, but it's just as we saw, 2 hours. I think even Kiana was like, friend, I can't save you on this. Like her face was just like, we have been driving. And I felt bad for Tia and Kay because they didn't get to partake of the finale shenanigans in the gas station because they were away driving for forever. And I mean, the least they could have done in the roundup was let us know if they made their flights or not, because I mean, surely there's no way they made their flight, but give us an update on that. But I do want to see Angel come back because she's coming back either as redemption or confirmation that she can't deal. So let's see what it is. I know like at the reunion, she's probably gonna be like, thank me for a season. I gave you something to talk about, but we'll see about that. The whole Wendy, Stacy, Jazzy thing, that was something, but I feel like it's more even stuff off camera that it's just everyone was frustrated with Stacey lying. We find it entertaining. We find Stacey, able to stand up, but I think the dynamics for her coworkers and friends is different. And I think Wendy had just had it up to here and just called her out on it because like we're going along with your lying, we're still being friends with you, and then you have the audacity to tell Jazzy like, oh, I don't appreciate you taking Sharice's number, that's my enemy, you should stand up for me. And it's just like, okay, girl, where do you get what soapbox do you stand on to give these demands when you have your own issues that we're overlooking? And I think Wendy had just had it and started calling her out on it. But it was cute when they made up, when they went inside and Stacey just took her back because Stacey was also kind of like a punching bag also this season. Um, all in all, again, entertaining. Now, why was the Karen interview the season finale? I just thought that was weird. Like we already had the roundup that is tradition for the girls. That should have been the season finale. Like there's no episode airing because of the Super Bowl this week for the reunion. So just have it as a standalone episode instead of calling it a finale. I hope I'm not mixing it up, but I think that's what they called it. Like it should just been a standalone ep. Or instead of like just give the girls their finale and just have it and have them they carry the show and have it be that. But it was good to see Karen back. Like I did miss Karen. I just wondered what the dynamic would have been like if she was there. It would have been good to see her and see what she would have done. But them prison braids. I shouldn't be cackling, but I did. Like when she came out, I was like, oh, Karen. Karen will always be Karen. When she told the driver to stop the car, wave to the fans, it was just, I don't know, the whole thing was just funny. But, she served her time. And when she came home, it was nice. Ray was there with the font, with the paper that he printed out for her, and the three balloons just standing there in their lonesome. It was like tumbleweeds, just tumbleweeds, but it's nice. It was a nice gesture. Raven was me, as Karen told us that the women took the hair off her head to braid her hair. Raven kept saying, they did what? They took it off there, and Karen wasn't responding to her because we didn't need to know that. And also, ew, I don't know, just tie the scarf. Don't put the braids in, I guess. So, Andy stops by for the reunion. Not the reunion. Well, it is a reunion, but for the interview. And Karen is all brushed up. She has taken a shower. She has gotten her wig. She looks fantastic. She's also dressed casually. Like, that was a good touch from her. Like, she wasn't all like dolled up and fancied up. She was in flats. She was in her dress that was blush, not beige, guys. And the conversation happened. And listen, I know people are saying that she wasn't taking accountability, but addiction is heavy. I can't pretend to know what it is or talk about it, but it just seems like it's heavy and it's a lot to process. And I'm sure like she needed this wake up call. She needed to go to jail. I'm glad she didn't watch that footage or take a plea deal. She needed to go to jail. Like this is something that has been going on for her kids to think that she's had a problem for a while. It's been mentioned on the show before. I think, I don't know, we didn't take it seriously. I think Charisse said it because it was said kind of maliciously. So it was like, oh, where did this come from? And we have to remember that there are functioning alcoholics. So this problem has been going on for a while. She's still getting DUIs. one DUI is one too many. So for her to have gone to jail, maybe that is the sobering up that she needed in terms of like realizing like this is serious. Like she really could have killed somebody in that DUI and that was just not, you know, necessary. But is she still delusional? Yes. But we have to remember that that sexual assault that she's spoken about on the show, that she spoke about with Andy, that did traumatize her. She speaks about it, that, talking to her therapist. And I think maybe it stunted her. And maybe delusion is what has carried her as a defense mechanism. Because for some people, it's like, if I create my own world, if I'm in my own world, then, you know, I don't have to face the real stuff. I don't have to face the hard stuff. And in some way, you see it play out because the one thing, Karen has always been delusional. You can't tell her anything. And we can see, I mean, did she really believe that they believed that she was having a heavy period? Like, and then her saying like she led like a AANA class. I'm like, Karen, you don't have the tools to do that, and she's still doing that like she likes to mentor or be the mama bear, and it's her like hiding behind mentorship. Like if I face other people's problems, I don't have to face mine. But at this time, again, Andy's disbelief face when once Andy says with all due or if he says respectfully, or he cocks his head to the side, looks to the sky and is like, what is going on? It's just funny. And Karen, again, is not aware and just keeps going and talking about, what she said. It didn't make sense to me when I think people were saying she wasn't saying like she was an alcoholic. And again, it's a journey. Just like maybe it's difficult for her, I don't know, but it made sense for her when she said the alcoholism was harder for her to deal with because the pills, at least she can say the doctor prescribed that to her and then she's taking what the doctor gave her. But with the alcohol, that's of her own doing. She has to admit that she's the one picking it up, putting it down, and doing that alcohol. So that's hard. So I don't know. I know it's Karen. I know she's a housewife and it's a TV show, but it just feels hard. When she said she's a lifelong recovering addict, that's tough. Like it's just something you have to deal with for the rest of your life. So baby steps, hopefully she gets to where she needs to be. But um, yeah, it's gonna be a journey, I guess. I do hope that she gets the help that she needs and she gets the support system and she gets to go to, meetings if she needs and gets the counseling that she needs. People are saying that the show won't being her being on the show won't be good for her, but I might argue that being off the show might not help. I think I think she said the show saved her in some way. I just feel like after all this, attention, the show, and that's being your job, her not working and then sitting with your thoughts might not be helpful. And I feel like the show actually provides some kind of accountability. Does it come with pressure? Yes, absolutely. But, that's life. But if she can find the balance between, managing it, getting all the help she needs, and being on the show, personally, maybe selfishly, I would like to see her, back on the show. So, that being said, looking forward to seeing her on the reunion where she is going to, it seems, gather Wendy. So, and I wish that she told us what the issue was. Though, is this one of her delusions where she's like, Wendy knows why I didn't thank her? Well, why? What is the reason? What is it? So, we'll see what happens. So that was it for me for Potomac. Looking forward to the reunion. Most of them look good for the reunion. Karen looked good. I mean, Giselle looked good. I mean, it's not anything out the ordinary, but I think she looked good. Wendy looked absolutely fantastic. That scam money she has put to good use for her fashions because she really came with it and brought it. I don't know what Jazzy was doing, and I don't like it when people go off color. If they give a color, don't mix and match and get a different shade or get a different color to mix and match. Just stick to one solid color. That's just my thing. Okay, moving on to Extracted. Now, Extracted is on season 2. I have an episode recap for anyone who wants to listen for season 1. If you want to search through my library of episodes, it is the May 10th episode of 2025. I believe. I want to say 25. So either 25 or 24. I'm not sure when it came out, but my guess is 25. So check that out, May 10th. So the whole purpose of this is like families in threes come in One person is going to be the survivalist, and they go into the jungle. Two family members remain in the, I don't know, warehouse. And they can see them on the big screen. All the families can see each other at the time. They do things to win some items for their survivalists that are out there. They make strategic decisions. They make they form relationships, some of them form alliances, and it's basically seeing who can survive. Now, when the survivalist has had enough, because it's really tough, they have to build their own tent. They sometimes have no fire, no water. Last season, some guy drank a water from the lake, had intense diarrhea, and it was just terrible. Um, when they've had enough, they just tell their family, please get me out of here. I want to go. I want to go. And then the family has to decide if they want to push the extracted button so they can get them out of there, or if they're like, tough it out, you stay there, you can deal with it. Last season, we had a family who was in shelter, who was in the warehouse, who had beds, and a roof over their head. They couldn't deal with the social part of the game. And meanwhile, their survivalist was thriving. And they extracted him, even though he did not want to be extracted, but they couldn't do it. And it was so sad because it was something he wanted to do for himself. He cared for his wife while she had cancer. He'd been, head above water the last few years. So this was something that gave him joy and that he wanted to do. And to me, his brother and his wife were just selfish and were like, we can deal with it, so we're just going to withdraw. And it was just, he was doing so well. But we don't get reunions, so we don't get to see afterwards, how does he deal with it? How does he forgive them for doing that? Another highlight from the last season was in the final challenge, they had to put some words together and then they had to guess a word. The word was trust. And then they were putting it in and somebody got TRU and they were so close. And then the dad was just like, "Oh my God, I got it! It's Trump!" And it was just the funniest thing because we all know what the word is, and of course he's delirious. He's not eating, and we're just sure that he has the word, and it was Trump. Anyways, with season two, I think it's better for them because now they have skills that they can practice. You can practice how to make shelter. You can practice how to make fire. You can practice all survival skills that you have to do. And hopefully, you can discuss that the one thing you don't do is stay on the screen to just show people how you're surviving, how strong you are, because the other families see that, oh, you're doing well, and they are going to sabotage you, and you don't get the materials that you need to be out there in the jungle. So I've only watched the first episode, so I know there are other episodes, but I've only watched the first episode. We have Sandra and Nina here. Like first impressions of some of the couples. Sandra is the famous two-time winner of Survivor. She's also been on Traders, and she's also been on Survivor, Australian Survivor. And we have Nina, who's her daughter. Sandra is more known. Nina has been on Australian Survivor. She's also been on the one season show on USA Anonymous, which she won. Sorry, spoiler alert if you're planning to watch it, but I don't even think it exists. It was a one and done show, but like mother, like daughter, like they're both pretty smart and pretty good at this game. So Sandra is more known. So the minute she came out and they saw her, people started whispering like, "Oh, she's a threat," and they've already tried to sabotage her just in episode one. Their survivalist is Nina's high school sweetheart out there. So Sandra has mellowed lately to me, but automatically they're seeing her as a threat. We have Olsen. He's a survivalist, and automatically it gave bad vibes. They seem like they're conservative, and the son just looks like he wants to please his dad. He literally got out of school. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's February, and if you haven't already, that means pretty soon all around you, commercials, the grocery stores are going to be full of Valentine's candy, flowers, and of course that means lots of talk about dating and relationships. No matter what your relationship status, married, dating, single, or just focusing on you, you're right on time. Because much like adulting, we are all just trying to figure it out, and therapy can help you find your way and see more clearly where you want to be. With over 12 years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate, BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. And it works because BetterHelp has an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com. That's better, Help.com.
Conversations about GLP-1 are all the rage these days, and it almost always centers around weight loss. It's been eye-opening to realize that there are way more benefits that go beyond the scale, like better lab numbers, more energy, and new levels of confidence. One of the scary parts about using a GLP-1 for most people are the self-administered shots because they can be intimidating. But guess what? Ro now offers the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. That's one daily pill for fewer cravings and feeling fuller with an innovative new formula clinically proven to maximize weight loss. All this and more is why I'd go with Ro if I ever wanted to start a GLP-1 journey. Go to ro.co/alter to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. That's ro.co/altar to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety for boxed warnings and full safety information about GLP-1 medication.
For this. The wife seems like uncomfortable. It just seems like a situation where it's like, oh, the dad leads the family. We do what he says because he's the head of the household. And the dad made a comment like he likes, stuff like this. So why wasn't he the survivalist? That's what I don't understand. And the dad is like, let's see if he's equal to me as a man out there. I'm like, okay, what? You're competing with your son? That's gross. And if his dad was so sure about this, like, why wasn't he there? Why did you put him out there? And while Olsen is out there, all he talks about is, I'm missing school for this. I wish I was in school. I am so miserable. And on his first day, he encounters a black bear. And it's the moment his parents go to the bathroom. That's so funny. And then the bear comes there, and it's like, your heart stops. I cannot imagine what it's like to be face to face with a bear. I couldn't. So, you know, why don't you put your son out there and be miserable? And the thing about this show is because in the first season there was also like people who had their kids out there, it's the realization of, oh my God, how have I been as a parent? Because you see some parents being like, there was a dad who actually sobbed and was like, have I overcorrected and been too much in my son's life? And he's spoiled. So now he doesn't know how to handle adversity. And you see them being rude and, things like that. So you get to see the product of your parenting with them on camera, just with the rest of America. We have Dallas. She's here with her two sons. Her son, Romeo, is the survivalist out there, and her other son, Dallas, is with her in there. But obviously, Mom has a clear favorite in Romeo, and it's just so uncomfortable to watch because Dallas sees it, we all see it, and you can see that he has resentment. Like, he's like, Romeo calls his mom like every day, he calls her like every 2 weeks, and there's just tension, some of the things that she says, and just that they have a close bond and it's not there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out on there. We have RJ, who's got a mom who's tough on him because she's just like, who I'm not sending him out. I'm not taking him out. He needs to go through the procedure. We have Annalise, who's from Big Brother, and I don't know if people know she's from Big Brother because just like she was in her season, she's just pretty, but she's kind of boring and just out there. And she has a sister, Jessica, who cries all the time. And again, why pick her to be the survivalist? Like before they even get there, she's crying. Like for every little thing, she's crying. Like why set yourself up for failure? So I don't know. Maybe it's a production choice to create the drama and to have people, but also that increases the chances of them wanting to get out. And then you have less people in there. So either way, competitive reality, y'all know that's my jam. So I really like Extracted. It is on Fox, or if you have Hulu's on Hulu the next day. So you can check that out and let me know what you think. All right, Summer House. Season 10, 10 years, guys. Season 10. Listen, I watch them all, but I feel like the housewives are not as fresh as they used to be because of course they've been on for a long time. There's nothing we haven't seen. So a lot of the non-housewives show I find pretty entertaining because it's just different. And Summer House is one of those shows that has, stood the test of time. Cast changes, a lot of cast changes, but we have the core people who are still here. So 10 years later, we originally still have Kyle and Amanda, and we have Carl. And Mother Hubbard was not on this first episode, but I think that she's going to be on later in the season, either for some episodes. And I hear that I watched this on Peacock, so I hear that we got a preview for um Summer in the City, the new spin-off show, and I have not seen the previews. I usually don't like previews. I like to be surprised, but every now and then I do see it, especially if it comes up on my social media feed. But I haven't seen the In the City spin-off yet. But I get Lindsay's gonna be on that as well. But I like this premiere episode. We have new cast members. Everyone seems lighter, and I love that for them. Notable is, Gabby is not back and Paige is not back, and it'll be interesting to see what this would be like because now Sierra and Amanda are going to be the besties here and see how they are with new people. But everyone seems lighter in that, Sierra, it takes her a while to warm up with people, but I think she's making a conscious decision and she's just going to let loose. And, we've seen those videos, we've seen her like at the parties, and she just seems like a vibe. And I usually hate this question, but I do find myself asking why is Sierra single? Like she had this bob in the confessional that was so great, and she just seems she's a hottie. I don't know if anyone else saw her at the Grammys, but and and she seems like a vibe, and she's smart and she's beautiful, and it's just like I hope she ends up with a great guy. We don't need any more average people or average men for her. So I hope she ends up with a great guy in the end. But yes, like I said, she seems intentional and she seems like she's going to be intentional with the new people and not be aloof and not make it harder for them to, join the crew because it's hard when people have been friends for a long time and you're the newbie. It's kind of hard. We say that, but then when it comes to the men, Jesse and Wes just kind of fit in immediately. So something to look at there. So it was nice. Kyle and Amanda, the news of their split happened came out, and Amanda wasn't Watch What Happens Live and said they split before BravoCon. So BravoCon was in November. So this was filmed in the summer. So I don't know. Trouble Paradise already started. What am I saying? This has been their life every summer. This has been their life before they even got engaged. This has been their life since they got married. So it's just on a different level now. Every season, every summer, we're like Amanda hates Kyle. Like she can't stand him, and nothing's changed. It's the same thing now, except like it's on 1,000. So we see them together, but she's not driving with him. She's driving with Sierra and the two new girls, Bailey, and I wonder how Lexi would have fit in with this crew. But I don't know. We'll never know because if they had to pick, they will always pick Jesse Solomon. So she's not coming back. But I do like the newbies. Like I said, I think Bailey is a star. Like on the first night of their dinner, she already gave them her story of how she was dumped at was it Sweet Green, and she is just out there, and I like that, and she's fitting in, and again she's fitting in, and the cast is being very welcoming, so it was really nice. um, Jesse Solomon is just not for me, guys. I see that guy and I'm just annoyed. I don't know what everyone sees in him. He's not charming. He's so put on for me. Like it's just he annoys me. He's just not for me. So when I see people saying like, oh, and Amanda and Solomon, no, no, we don't want. She cannot go from Kyle to Jesse Solomon. It's just no. So I miss Lindsay. Like I noticed her not being there. Like I kept waiting for her to arrive and then she wasn't there. So when they FaceTimed her, I appreciated it. It was almost like they FaceTimed for us as well. Going back to Sierra, I like West. I think I'm supposed to not like him, but I do. I mean, what he did was a shitty thing. But I don't know, he's just likable and he's charming. And I am ready for her and West to be friends. Am I ready for her to be with him romantically? I don't know because I don't think Wes wants commitment. And I know I'm such a hypocrite. I will always call myself out because I don't understand the whole Solomon and Jesse Solomon and Amanda. And it's probably just a joke. But me saying, oh, I don't mind Wes and Sierra, I'm just like, where am I? Maybe it's not the same comparison. But Wes doesn't want commitment and I don't want that for Sierra. So just like I don't know. I don't know where this goes. They're teasing this, and if they are together, this would be such a thing that they kept very well, and I would appreciate that because I like to be surprised. So, Kyle and Amanda, I they did what's best. They should be. separated, but the passive aggressive digs was a lot. It really, really was a lot. And I don't know how Kyle can keep saying that he wants babies, doesn't mean an old dad, but you're staying out all night. Like, you're not giving her the security to even think that, oh, she wants kids, because you're not going to be around. And you can't say, oh, then if the kids come, then I'm going to quit. Like, I like that they gave us the flashback where literally she wanted to start a swimsuit line and he was so pissed about it and was like, well, if she's going to do that, then I'm just going to be a DJ. And that's how you became a DJ. I thought he was swamped with work with Loverboy. How does he have time to even be a DJ? And what is with this DJ pipeline? What is next, Mauricio? But anyway, Carl nailed it when he had that conversation with Sierra. You can tell that Carl is coming from a good place where he's just like, you're not doing the things that are going to enable your marriage to get better. You are getting the attention that maybe you're not getting from home, but this is not the way to go about it. So it wasn't right. We had another newbie, Ben, from Australia. He was the Australian Bachelor. Almost tempted to check it out because sometimes Hulu has the Australian versions of Bachelor on there. And is it just me or was there a vibe with him and Amanda? It made me uncomfortable. And then sharing that, oh, they all went skinny dipping at the wedding in Italy, and when Justice Solomon was like, even though I haven't seen Amanda's boob, shut the fuck up. Oh, he annoys me. He annoys me so much. But yeah, there was a vibe. And I'm like, ooh. And then maybe that's what it was when they were all jumping into the pool. And Amanda strips down to her underwear, her strapless bra, and her underwear and jumps into the pool. And Kyle got really mad. Kyle is just like, you're naked. I mean, she's not naked. Like, Amanda doesn't even really wear, she's always worn like bare minimum clothes, and it's kind of like a bikini, like in a bra and underwear. So I don't know why he got really mad. So in my mind, I'm like, I think he just got triggered by the whole skinny dipping and Ben and everything, and now she's in water again, and in his mind she was skinny dipping because he just kept saying you're naked, and I'm like, she's not. There's nothing being blurred out. Like, we can see that there's garments on her. So I don't know why he got so mad, but he's done worse that she's forgiving him for. Not to say like they should keep going tit for tat, but anyway, this marriage was DOA, and good for them. We get the preview for the rest of the season. Oh, I didn't speak about KJ. He's the pro skateboarder, and he comes in as Wes's friend, and it was just kind of nice when he was like he has anxiety, and Wes is like, are you okay if I check in on you? And he's like, yes, I'd appreciate that. That was just really sweet. Like, anxiety is no joke, man. And it's always nice to feel like someone's in your corner and then someone understands, and now he has Wes to look out for him throughout the summer. So I forgot that even more people are coming when they showed the preview. So we have more people coming because I was like, okay, this seems like there's no romantic entanglements. Like, we're going to need some of that. That's why we need y'all single. So it looks like that's coming with the people that are coming. So I don't care if there's a lot of people. I keep wondering, how many bedrooms does this house have that it's going to fit all of them? But I'm ready for it. I'm ready to watch it. And congratulations to them for having the door fixed. So looking forward to seeing what the season brings for us. So finally, Below Deck Down Under. Below Deck is one of the better franchises. I always used to say that the best was Sailing Yacht, but now I'm like, is that canceled because of all the allegations against Gary? I'm gonna go with a yes because on this franchise, Daisy is on here. And Down Under started as Australia because I remember when it first premiered. I think that's when BravoCon was still in New York, and they had like this big thing, and they had like its own promo, like on a bus that you could go on there. Oh, maybe that was Big Adventure or something. Okay, I'm mixing them all up. But either way, Below Deck Down Under started with Australia. Captain Jason, he's Australian. That's what he was. I think that's when he's good friends with Asia, and they had that. But now they've had a spin. They're putting their own spin on it, and they're in the Caribbean, and they're still saying Down Under. And Captain Jason's like, well, Down Under is wherever I am. I'm Australian enough, so that's enough for you to do that. So yes. So now Daisy is on here with Captain Jason, but Daisy usually was on Sailing Yacht. On there. So what's gonna happen to oh no, the captain from Sailing Yacht is at the end for him? Because I like Glenn. because he's cute. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But Captain Jason is the best of all the captains. He gets a good read and everything. He doesn't mind them having fun, but he's also very strict, and he just likes his. He runs a tight ship, but he's not like a micromanager like Captain Sandy. So I like Captain Jason. He nips things in the bud before it becomes a thing. So we have familiar faces. We have Joao, who's going to be the bosun. We have Ben, even though Joao says he's now a captain, but so it's kind of like a step down for him, but he's filming a show. This comes with more. And Ben is back. We haven't seen Ben in a while. And I don't know if I knew he was engaged and I forgot, but that ended. So that's that. So Ben is back, and Ben is a grump, and Ben is like the typical chef. So all the drama in the yeah in the kitchen is gonna be back. So is it Down Under? Yes, Down Under is the one who had the sous chef, and I think last season it has Zarina, and we got introduced to Alicia. Alicia is back as the sous chef, and you cannot tell me that this is just not casting for drama, because Alicia's just like, I'm not trained, I didn't go to culinary school, I just have a passion for cooking. A passion for cooking means you look up recipes on the internet, you practice in your kitchen, you cook for your friends and family and have them test and taste your food so that you can grow your skills. But she came back after the whole thing that happened last time, told her mom that she wants to be a chef, and her mom was like, yeah, maybe not, and then that was it. She didn't do it. And then she tells us like, yeah, I'm back, and maybe I can prove to my mom that I can do it. Prove to your mom means going to culinary school and do something. But anyways, they brought her back, and she didn't do anything, and she is having a hard time with Ben, and Ben is just like, what did they give me as a sous chef? And she drives me nuts, absolutely nuts, because she's so laid back. You cannot be that nonchalant. Like literally, she said, "Oh, I can make cheesecake," and then she put the wrong ingredients, and then it's boiling over the pot, dripping onto the floor, and she's just looking at it like, "Yeah, that happened." And Ben is just like, Are all the lights on at home?" And she's just like, "Well, I mean, I told you I don't know how to cook," and it's like, "Why are you here?" So I'm actually hoping she gets fired, because what's the point of having a sous chef who gives you more work instead of making your life easier? But also, why do all the franchises not give the chefs sous chefs? It just seems like a lot to cook so many meals, especially with demanding charter guests, and you have to also cook the crew their own meals also. That just seems like a lot. Um Mike looks so familiar. He's like on the, what do you call him? He's on Daisy's team in the galley, like the cabin crew, I guess. No, that's not right. That's for airlines. But yeah, on Daisy's team. But he looks so familiar. He looks like maybe he was on Geordie's Shore or something, but I don't know. I can't place him, so maybe he just has one of those faces. So the first episode, we dive straight into the mirror episodes of the Salt Lake City cast being on here. So they're not wasting any time. They're just diving straight into it. And watching the women argue with outside eyes, not watching them through the show, it's hilarious, because it's just like, what are we doing? And it just seems like a show, like a like a circus. Let me put it that way. And it's like, how do you explain that to people? And that's what was going on. Looking at it through that way. But anyways, it looks like it'll be a good season. We'll see how it goes. I can't believe that Joao and Daisy might have a thing. I actually miss Colin, and I wonder if he'll ever come back on TV, or if he was so traumatized by the last time where he was in a love triangle with Gary and Daisy that he's just like, I'm never going to do this again. So that wraps it up for what I watched this week. As usual, let me know if there's any show that you would like my thoughts on, because usually I watch more, but I just kind of pick a handful that I want to talk about. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if there's anything that you just want to gab about. I will be happy to talk about it with you. So until next time, guys, you can find me on the socials. And also, I forget to say, I do have a YouTube channel. Sometimes I put videos, sometimes I don't, but just check it out if that is your medium. You can also listen to it that way. But also, if you use that, it should also come through. If you use YouTube Music, it's also called MAFS. That's the name and the handle for all of the socials. Blue Sky, on Instagram, on Threads, where I also sometimes live tweet when I'm watching stuff. So check that out and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until next time, guys. Bye.